EVO.
New York City in the 1980s was a war zone. I know because I was there. The murder rate was the highest in the country, and the war on drugs was raging throughout the 5 boroughs. The culture was being infiltrated with new wave rock, Basquiat, Warhol, soap operas, crooked cops, and crack cocaine. Enter young Adam Diaz. Fresh off the beaches of the Dominican Republic, he saw the cool in all the crime. And with a little help from his family, Adam became the boss of the Diaz organization, paying off dirty cops, protecting his turf, and moving 300 to 400 kilos a week for the Medellin cartel, all before his 20th birthday. Join me as I go mano a mano with Diaz, and you'll see for yourself how this kid from the DR became the king of Brooklyn. I'm Ash Adams, and this is The Culture of Criminal Cool.
Hey, I'm Bruce.
And I'm Jeff. We're here to tell you a little about our new podcast called Taboo Treasures. We explore the human obsession with objects of extreme rarity and infamy.
Here's a little snippet of our episode called Heavenly Sneakers.
San Diego Sheriff's deputies stumble into a house of death filled with dozens of bodies, the site of a grim mass suicide.
But what really stood out to me was seeing the sneakers underneath the sheets that had the white Nike swoosh on them.
The leader was a guy named Marshall Applewhite.
I'm from Kingdom Level Above Human.
It's not exactly every day you plan the simultaneous suicide of 39 people. So in the weeks leading up to it, he knew he'd have to come up with a little checklist.
What was number 1?
Convince 38 people to commit suicide.
Number 2.
Figure out how to kill 38 people.
Number 3. What should we wear? We hope you'll join us and learn a little and maybe even laugh a little while we tell you some of the stories behind the stories you only think you know.
EVO.
The following podcast contains tales of violence, sex, drugs, and a little bit of rock and roll, but is certainly not suitable for all listeners, so discretion is advised. Crime and punishment, the glamour of the grift, a mosaic of murder and mayhem, a culture of criminal cool, movies and television that cover crime in silk pajamas. I'm Ash Adams, and this is The Culture of Criminal Cool. Episode 6.
I get involved in these huge transactions with the Colombians, but I have a partner when it comes to gather work, because 1,000 kilos was too much for me to be responsible for. Because like I say, once you get that stuff in your hands, you're responsible for it. Tomorrow the price goes down, it doesn't matter. They don't care. You're paying for that. And the same thing goes if something happened to the work, you got to pay for that. So I'd rather not take so much stuff. I take just 500 at a time, 300 at a time, pay them back, take the money all the time. So I have the less responsibility I have in my hands. They're better for me and for my boys. So I have this guy named Johnny, nice guy. We're doing business forever now. He knows my connect, because they also give him work because he works in a different area, Manhattan. But we're working like partners. Like when he's got too much work that he can get rid of it, he'll send it to me. I'll sell it. I send him the money. But anyway, now I'm working with these Colombians, and Medellin cartel, big guy named Little John, and he's giving me all this work, right? But my friend Johnny got in a big debt, like 1,500 kilos. This guy owned too much money already. So Little John calls me up and say, we're going to do a meeting for you guys. We need to talk. I'm not scared. I'm concerned for my friend Johnny. Because when you don't screw it up with the Colombians, they don't fuck with you. No matter how mad they are, how upset. If you represent a huge amount of money every month, they're not going to fuck with you. But you got to work straight. You don't fuck with these people's money. You know what I mean? But it was not Johnny's fault either. Something went down. The work is gone. And now we got to pay this debt. So we did this meeting. The guy, came up and said, look, Adam, you guys owe me a lot of money. And it's not about the money you owe me. It's about the work I'm about to give you. And when you add it up, it's too many millions of dollars. You guys don't have the capacity if this money gets lost. And I say, okay, so what did you suggest? He says, well, I know you have a huge farm in Dominican Republic, thousands of acres. And Johnny got a whole bunch of apartments in Dominican Republic. We have this, it's like a bank finance company they have in Dominican. He said, this is what we do with our customers. You know, whenever they get in trouble, they'll give us properties, and when they cover the debt, we give them back to them. That's going to secure that we got our money secure. You know, it's like when you go to the bank and you want a loan, a personal loan. If you have a house, you know, you give the title to the house, you get your money. When you pay off the loan, then you get back your title. Very simple. So, yeah, okay. What's the problem? I gave my property title. Then Johnny gave them all the title to all his fucking apartments. So there we go. We're rolling again. They gave us another 1,000 kilos. We're moving. We're working nice. Everything is going nice. Then all of a sudden, one of the guys that worked for me, Nelson Rivas, that was actually out on bail, remember? This is the guy that put the Uzi on the stomach of this federal agent. Now, I should have took that under consideration. I should have knew that was coming. Because how did he make bail? But I don't know, something had got me confused, but I didn't pay much attention to it because I guess he was very convincing. And he got through all of these channels that I never let nobody go through. I don't know how he got me convinced, but he got me convinced that everything was okay. But he was working for the federal government. Now, at this point, this guy is not snitching me out because he doesn't want to snitch me out because I will find out. He's snitching somebody else out. Somebody else that he knows in Manhattan. I later found out. But this kid's hungry for money because he doesn't really want to do time. He just want to get a lot of money gathered, and leave, go to the Dominican Republic. That's what most of these kids do when they get in trouble. They stick up people, they get a lot of money, and they're out. This way they don't have to snitch anybody. They do what they call the right thing for themselves. Okay, so he goes and stick up one of my cousins, Alberto. Stick him up. Took like around, I think it was like 180,000, something like that. Almost killed him. Shot at him, but he couldn't get him. My cousin got away. And but he didn't do it himself. He sent his brother to do it and another guy. But we found out that it's his brother. So we know his son. So we said, okay. So now I'm searching for this guy. I'm hunting this guy down. He thinks everything is okay. He lives in Manhattan, 137th Street, Broadway. He thinks he's God because he got these fucking pennies he stole from me. It never went through his mind that I will actually find out it was him. He even called me telling me, hey, Adam, I heard you had some trouble, boo, boo, boo. I say, yeah, some fucking motherfucker stick on my cousin. But it's all right. Don't worry, that's pennies. I didn't want to bring his attention. I don't want him to think I know. This guy is a dangerous guy. This guy could shoot you. Imagine he put a fucking Uzi on a federal agent.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous? What's he going to do when he finds him? Demand an apology? Ask for the 180 grand back? Make him cookies and milk? Honor among thieves, guy code, bros before hoes, whatever you want to call it, matters in the drug game. All through this journey, we've heard Adam talk about family and cousins and trust. If someone spins out and off the reservation, it's time for a hit team to go up to 137th Street.
Fucking, I'm heated with this guy. I want to get this guy. I'm so upset because he betrayed me. I bailed him out. I did my duty as the boss. Hey, he's not fulfilling his duty as my soldier. I understand that he wants to run away with a lot of money and try to save his ass, go back to Dominican, whatever. But all he had to do is ask me. Say, Adam, look, please, give me some money. I need to leave the country. They want me to cooperate. I would have fucking give him $200,000-$300,000. Go back. And that's it. End of story. But instead of that, he sticks up my cousin, almost kill him, and he's on the run. So I'm doing my homework, getting my crew. I got these guys, this Puerto Rican guy, Savage. And this guy, he's a fucking killer. I got Savage and his crew to take care of this shit. The best sicarios are the Puerto Ricans. Reason why? Because even if they get caught, they never talk. Because later on, they do time in jail, and if gangs find out they got papers that they snitch, they can never survive on the compound. So usually Puerto Ricans don't talk. So now we're going hunt for Nelson Rivas. He's in Manhattan. He lives on 137th Street in Broadway.
Nelson Rivas. Man, I wouldn't want to be this guy. He is in deep shit, and he doesn't have a clue.
I get my guys together, get ready the Uzis, AK-47s, got them all fucking gathered nice. With silencers. It was a nice fucking setup. We're coming for him. I know this motherfucker's going down no matter what. He will never survive this.
Here's the gangster, the boss who has to keep order in his crew. He goes and puts a hit squad together with a dude named Savage. Yeah, Savage. We've seen how diplomatic he can be. We have seen that he can step up when he has to in the heat of the moment. Now, Adam is doing the hunting. He's got the muscle from the PR backing him up. It's personal, okay? He feels fucked over from a guy he trusted and would have helped out if he would have just manned up and asked. This is the wolf rising, the criminal who has to make an example of Nelson Rivas. I sure as shit wouldn't have wanted to be in his zapatos that night either.
Okay, I want to take a second here and talk about addiction. And I'm not talking about shaming drug and alcohol use. That's not my thing. But addictions. Do you have any? Because I do. Cigars. And so does our boy Adam. So much so that he got together with some heavy hitters in the tobacco industry and created his own brand, the 7.5, designed and crafted in the Dominican Republic to commemorate not only the success of the hit documentary, but to celebrate Adam himself. It's rich, full-flavored, bold, pretentious, in your face, like Diaz himself. So look up the Adam Diaz 7.5 cigar sometime soon on the internet, because eventually it will be available for you to get a box for yourself and see that sometimes crime does pay.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are... Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream team.
And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG.
Now, we have a block away. We identify the guy. The guy's right in front of the building, pretending everything is okay. So now, I give it a green light. I say, is the guy there? Go ahead. So the guy goes and double park right across from him, open the door, go in, and start shooting. Start shooting the guy. The guy falls on the floor. Then he starts scrambling for his life. He's begging for his life. He's going inside the building. Then they shot him in the back a few times. He gets shot 27 times. That was like a good message for those who's locked up and might be thinking of turning on me. But then there's another kid half a block away who starts shooting at my boys. And my boys shot him too. So this guy's down too. Now they get back in the car, they rush out of that block, and they are gone. And so am I. I go back to my office, sit down, had a drink. Remy Martin, I love Remy Martin, cognac. Celebrate. I call my boy Alberto. Alberto, business is done.
Have a Remy and a cigar and shut the fuck up. Some cold-blooded shit here, man. This is where I remember thinking when I was in the DR in front of Adam that here Adam is a full-blown gangster. No two ways about it. You steal from me or my family, you're gone. And when he told me this story, I could tell he was right back in it. The eyes don't lie, Chico. It's in the windows, man. And his blue eyes went black.
But then all of a sudden, I get a call from the Colombians. Again, they saying, the boss is happy. You paying them 75% of the debt is already being paid off. So now, the big boss in Colombia had a plan. And they say, Adam, we need you to travel. The big boss wants to talk to you. So I say, fine, no problem. I get on a plane, American airline. The only airline I believe was flying to Bogota back then, because there was no flying to Cali or Medellin, only to Bogota. Then from Bogota, I take another plane, small plane, to Medellin. Then you get escorted there by the big boss boys, to go wherever he was. So we went there. So then he comes and talk to us. He says, Adam, you're in a different level now. We don't want you to get work from us like that for a price. We want you to become like a partner. We need you to invest money. There's a lot of cash flowing in your business, and you got to change your strategy. And we believe you're a serious man. Say, okay, so how much I'm looking forward to invest? So it's $10 million, $7 to $10 million. I said, okay, no problem, you can do that. How much money you guarantee me? What's the profit? Now the profit margin is huge. If I was making $8,000 on a kilo, $6,000, now I'm going to make like $12,000 on a kilo. I'm going to double my profit margin because I'm investing directly. I'm risking my money. That means if on the way down to Miami, the work is lost, my money is lost. It's as simple as that. But we started that operation. Everything went nice and smooth. I get back to New York, waiting for their call. Then I get the call. Green light, Adam, the work is in Miami. Now it's on you, because I'm the one in charge of bringing this stuff from Miami. So I had this nice operation, bringing work from Miami. Everything is going smooth again. A lot of work coming in. Then I reinvest money again. I reinvest a lot of money with them. But this time, shit went wrong. They got the shit in Miami. I almost went bankrupt. A lot of money lost. I'm like, fuck. I should have just kept going the original way, the way I was doing things in Brooklyn. No responsibilities. Just give me the work. I sell it, I make my profit, and just keep it that way. You know what I mean? You invest $5 million, $10 million, whatever. It's too much money investing. It's a huge risk. So it did happen. I lost a lot of money. And but then it's like the domino effect. Everything started going down, 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 down. So my business, I had all these guys locked up. I had problems with the connection. My friend Johnny was having problems. All I did was for the last 8 months was losing money. I made a little bit and lose a lot. Made a little bit, lose a lot. What I was supposed to do was stop. Just fucking stop for a while. This Colombian friend of mine named Adam Diaz did exactly that. He says, Adam, I'm leaving. I'm going back to Colombia. I'm going to wait at least a year. The game is always going to be on. And whenever this shit stops, I'm coming back. Because a lot of friends of mine are already locked up in Miami doing live, doing 30. I'm not doing that. But I'm still not getting the message. I'm being greedy. I wanted more money. I want to get all the money back that I lost. And I want to take care of my boys. But then all of a sudden, I later found out Nelson Rivas made it. He didn't fucking die. The guy gets shot 27 times with an Uzi. And he's fucking alive. So next thing you know, they looking for me, I don't know. One day, coming into my house, I come in with Victor Perez and Carlos Sanchez, one of my bodyguards. And we coming into the building. I came from Crescent Avenue in Brooklyn. I just did the book. The taxi drives me right in the corner. All three of us get off the taxi. And guess what? There was a car, like an old Oldsmobile there. And there was like 4 guys in there, or 5 guys, including 2 police officers in the front, 2 in the front, 3 in the back. They were drinking beer like crazy. I seen them. That's why it didn't call my attention. I said, you won't imagine cops drinking beer on a sting operation. But yes, they were doing that. They were doing exactly that. I go to a payphone to call my cousin Alberto, see what's going on before I go upstairs. He wouldn't answer, wouldn't call me back. And all of a sudden, all hell break loose. Freeze! All these fucking cops on top of us, and they just fucking arrest my ass. So arrested. Adam is going down. Bring me down to MCC, New York. Separate cars, all of us. Then take our fingerprints, mugshot, and then, put in MCC, New York, 150 Park Avenue. Well, back then, in the 80s, I get a lot of guys out of jail. So imagine the big boss. Like, I have enough money to pay a good lawyer and get me out of there. And so I call my lawyer, the attorney that I give him money so he can get other good lawyers to get my guys out. So I like this guy. This guy's like a friend. I trust this guy. So I call him. He says, Adam, I'm sorry. I'm going to introduce you to another attorney because I happen to represent other people in your organization that got arrested. I can't represent you. It's called conflict of interest. And one of them is cooperating. I say, shit. So I called this guy named non-negotiable. Young guy, very young guy. I believe he's Jewish, and he's good. This guy, he got me a fucking good deal. The next morning, we're going to see the judge. He's called Judge Black. Tough judge, very tough judge. He'll give anybody 30 years for nothing. But I guess he liked me. I was so fucking young, he sees me like a kid. And so my prosecutor's name, Dan DeVita, I remember now his name, Dan DeVita, young guy. He started talking about me like, he was telling the truth, but the way he's like an actor. Mr. Diaz, head of this organization, moved thousands and thousands of kilos, attempted to kill a government informant, shot him 27 times, leader of this huge organization, the Adam Diaz organization. It's like, shit. So right there, I knew nothing was going to be easy for me. Nothing was going to be easy for me.
I should think not. Okay, recap time. Adam's moving more product than ever. He's killing it with the Colombian, so much so that they call him to Bogota and gently suggest reinvestments of some of his millions that he's making off their product back into their pockets. The guy that got shot 27 times, Rivez, remember him? Turns out he's a government informant.
We did a hearing to suppress the evidence like a month later. And when we did this hearing, they tried to present all this evidence. They said to the judge, hey, listen, we read it Van Sickle in Atlantic, and he managed to get away. Well, it's very simple. The guys that were working downstairs, including the informant, he didn't know I was in Dominican Republic because I never told my guys when I was in and out of the country. I called them from Dominican and I say, where are you, Adam? I'm in Manhattan. Or I'm upstairs in the apartment. I don't want nobody coming upstairs. But I wasn't. I was in Dominican Republic. But they don't know I'm in Dominican Republic. So when they raided that place, the guy that turned out to be an informant, he thought I was upstairs when they raided the place. And I managed to get away. So he told the feds, yes, Adam Diaz was upstairs. Big mistake. So they told the judge, we got evidence that Adam Diaz was upstairs. Then on the first raid before that one, on New Latz Avenue, they say the same shit. Guess what? I was also in Dominican Republic. So like 2 or 3 times, they made this bust and they took 12 and 14 of my guys. They assured the judge I was right there, but I managed to get away. Okay, so my attorney goes, okay, Adam, so what are we going to do? I say, I wasn't there. So he say, how can you prove that? I say, I'm going to prove it to you. I wasn't there. Say, if you can prove that, Adam, we got a win-win. Say, okay. I bring my passport. I give it to him. He grabs the passport, make copies of it. In the next hearing, we come down. They started talking. They started bringing all these bad stories about me and shit. But what kills them is when they try to bring this federal agent saying, yeah, I was surveillance Adam. He was there. Okay. So my attorney goes, okay, Your Honor. He's copied Adam Diaz's passport. He was not even in the country. They didn't see that coming, did they? No. So right there, the judge falls back on his chair, looked at the prosecutor he was fucking dead serious at this fucking cop. How can Mr. Diaz be in two places at the same time? Now, John DeVita, the prosecutor, tried to define that. He's like, all right, what happened is Mr. Diaz, he owns the cops in the Dominican Republic. So they'll stamp his passport, you know? He's got the cops under his under his pocket, you know what I mean? My lawyer says, oh, really? So you're telling me that he also had the immigration authorities in fucking JFK also? Who's this, Al Capone? Fuck out of here. No, and I'm talking about different dates. My passport is full of fucking stamps because I travel most of the time, like every other week to the Dominican Republic. I even go to the Dominican Republic sometimes on the weekends, just so I could get a suntan. You know? All of a sudden, my judge told the prosecutor and my lawyer, you guys should make a deal with Mr. Diaz. So they take me down to the bullpens, downstairs. I'm in the Eastern District Court of Brooklyn, where all the mafia guys are. John Gotti was there. I seen him downstairs in the bullpens. All his buddies were there. All these Italian, fat, huge guys are there in there. I did time with all these guys. I was in 11 North with John Gotti and his boys, you know. You know, I'm downstairs in the bullpens. All of a sudden, my attorney calls me up. They bring me upstairs. Marshals come on, Adam. I go upstairs. So they go, Adam, prosecutor wants to make a deal with you. We're going to give you 3 years. Say, what? How does that happen? You know, the most you're going to do is like 18 months because you're first offender and this and that. So they gave me a deal. I mean, my wife was crying. Everyone was crying. They didn't expect me to plead out for this shit. When I say, fine, I'm pleading out. I look behind me, my wife is crying. Everybody said, what are you doing? I say, what do you mean what am I doing? I'm not taking it to trial. I'm not fucking with these guys. I'm going to plead out right now and go do my time. But then my co-defendant, Victor, he's like, no, my attorney's saying they don't have any evidence whatsoever. So they got to let me out. As a matter of fact, they're only after you. They're not after me. Duh. They after the whole fucking crew, brother. My other co-defendant, Carlos, goes, look, I'm pleading out. I'm not taking a chance because this is a guy who just shot somebody in Jersey. Or so they told me. And this is death penalty in New Jersey. So he's like, I'm not fucking with the feds. I'm pleading out right now. Me and Adam, we go do it our time. But Victor, hard-headed guy, he was young. He was 20 years old. Said, no, I'm not pleading guilty. Well, he got 20 years. He took it to trial. They brought Nelson Rivas, and he did testify against him. And they gave him 20 years. So when they finally got me in court, sentenced me, I have a different judge now. His name is Arturo Spat, short Jewish guy with a huge attitude. He looked at me, he looks at my plea agreement, he looks at all my fucking shit, and he goes, I'm not giving you 3 years. My lawyer comes to this judge and says, look, Your Honor, former judge George Platt gave this guy a disagreement based upon the government didn't have any evidence. Now you don't want to respect this plea agreement, and now this is going to affect my client's rights, you know? But the judge wouldn't listen. The judge said, no, I'm giving this guy around 10 years. I'm increasing the guideline 6 levels. You don't increase the guideline when someone plead out. You decrease 2 levels just for pleading guilty. How the fuck are you going to increase 6 numbers on top of my guideline? Well, he goes, listen, I just attended his co-defender's trial and find him guilty in no charges and give him 20 years. You expect me to give this guy who's supposed to be the leader 3 years? No way. Boom, he gave me 97 months. I didn't realize that in my co-defender's trial, all they talk about was me. The prosecutor knew what he's doing. He only goes, because Mr. Diaz. There was a time when Victor Perez's lawyer says to the prosecutor, Your Honor, was this a trial about Mr. Diaz or about Perez? They wanted to make my name built in the fucking judge's head. You know what I mean? So yes, when I come back for sentencing, the judge, his head is full of shit about me. Now, the judge looked at my guideline, looked at my plea agreement and goes, no, there's no way I'm going to give this guy fucking, 3 years. No way. So I'm fucking panicking now. I'm guideline 23 now, I'm guideline fucking 29. That's, they could give me up to 121 months. That's more than 10 years. You're not honoring the other judge's decision to give me a plea agreement based upon they didn't have any fucking evidence. If I knew I was not getting fucking, 3 years, then I'll take it to trial. I might have taken it to trial with my co-defendant. At least I had the chance to come back on an appeal and beat this shit and get out. He took that chance from me. It's called violation of your constitutional rights. But he did it. It's a war on drugs. Judges are going hard on drug dealers, and I'm part of that. So I'm now say, fuck, I got 97 months. I fucking pleaded out to 3 years, and all of a sudden I got 97 months. What am I going to do now? I got to go and do 97 months in prison? Fuck.
Adam did get fucked here. He's a part of history, yes, in the war on drugs at the time, and that was coming down, but they were making an example of everyone they got their hooks into. Meanwhile, the Colombians were running their business like any successful American corporation. So when Adam and Johnny needed a loan, they required collateral. And when they gave Adam the opportunity to take business to the next level, they required an investment. It's more like a finance company than a drug cartel, and he really had it all here. Bulletproof and too big to fail, man. I mean, that's hubris. And like Icarus, he flew way too close to the sun. And listen, it's all fun and games until the snitch you shoot 27 times pulls a Vito Corleone and doesn't die, and you get a decade down in the hole. Not because he died, but irony flag flying way high here, because he lived. My best friend growing up, Tony, wasn't that lucky. He died. One of the main shifts that happened to me over the years was my view of the criminal mindset. It changed because it got personal. Tony wasn't a criminal or an informant, just a handsome, charming, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy from Malibu who wanted some of the product Adam was moving so much of. I tried to pull him out of there one night years before, but he wouldn't come. That was 1989. And it happened years later in 1998 in a place we called Ghost Town in Venice Beach, California. And back then, the cops didn't even like going in there. Crack Central. It's a scary place. But if you wanted to score, you braved it. And I don't know exactly what went down that night, but Tony ended up with a bullet in the head on display in the front seat of his Cherokee. They never arrested anyone. And Tony was just gone. And I never looked at criminals or gangsters the same after that. And you know what? I wanted to hate Adam for being one of those guys, but I couldn't. His murder deepened my desire to go further inside the life and look into these guys' heads and maybe get some better understanding. I don't know if I have. Maybe you have.